Here's a question nobody asks. How extreme does a place have to be before humans say, yeah, nope, not living there? Because apparently, the answer is never. There are people living right now at minus 67 degrees Celsius. There are tribes building homes 35 meters up in rainforest canopies. There's a church you can only reach by free climbing a vertical cliff with your bare hands. No ropes, no harness, just pure faith and terrifyingly good grip. And the wildest part? These aren't ancient ruins. These aren't abandoned ghost towns. People live there, today, right now, as you watch this. Today we're visiting 10 of the most extreme, impossible, and jaw-dropping places on Earth, and finding out why on earth anyone would choose to call them home. Stay till the end, because number 9 will genuinely make you question everything you think you know about human survival. Let's go. Shibam, Yemen. Before New York, before Chicago, before steel and glass and elevators, there was Shibam. Tucked inside Yemen's Hadramaut Valley, Shibam is a city of 500 mud brick towers, some rising 9 stories tall, built over 2,000 years ago. No cement, no iron rods, no modern engineering. Just mud, water, and genius. And the reason they built so high? Floods. When the Wadi Hadramaut River overflowed, and it did often, the entire valley would go underwater. So the people of Shibam did the only logical thing. They went up. Every few years, these towers need replastering. Whole families do it together. Mud mixed by hand, slapped onto walls that have stood for centuries. It's a tradition passed down through generations, like painting the Golden Gate Bridge. The moment you finish, it's time to start again. But today, Shibam faces enemies it wasn't built to fight. Yemen's ongoing civil war, neglect, and climate change are eroding these towers faster than families can repair them. UNESCO has it on the endangered list, a 2,000-year-old skyscraper city, slowly dissolving back into the desert. From a city that built UP to survive floods, our next stop takes that idea literally into the treetops. Korowai tree houses, Indonesia. Deep in the rainforests of Papua, Indonesia, lives the Korowai tribe, one of the last peoples on Earth to have had almost no contact with the outside world until the 1970s. And their homes? Built 35 meters above the jungle floor. That's roughly the height of an 11-story building. In trees, using bamboo and palm leaves. Why so high? Protection. From rival tribes, from wild animals, and historically, from something far darker that we won't get into right now. Let's just say the ground was not considered safe. The ladder up, a single notched bamboo pole. No rope, no rail. Just foot-sized grooves cut into a stick over a lethal drop. And Korowai children? They scamper up it like it's an escalator. Some Korowai have moved closer to modern settlements, but many elders refuse. They say the forest is their home, the trees are their walls, and the sky is their ceiling. Can't argue with that, honestly. From the jungle canopy, we land back on Earth. But on Earth, that looks like it belongs on another planet entirely. Spiti Valley, India. High in the Indian Himalayas, 12,500 feet above sea level, lies a valley that feels like Earth's last secret. Spiti. It means middle land. Sandwiched between India and Tibet, it's home to just 12,000 people spread across an area larger than Delhi. You can drive for hours and not see a single soul. The roads here are legendary, and not in a good way. One lane, no guardrails, a mountain on your left, and a 1,000-foot drop on your right. Local bus drivers tie holy threads on their steering wheels every morning before they set off. There's a post office here, in the village of Hikim, that claims to be the world's highest. You can send a postcard from 14,400 feet. I mean, if you make it there alive. For 4 months every winter, roads shut completely. No trucks, no supply lines, no outside contact. Villages become islands. Locals stockpile everything they need to survive: food, medicine, fuel, months in advance. And the nights? The sky is so unpolluted, so perfectly clear, that the Milky Way is visible with the naked eye. A blazing river of stars from horizon to horizon. Extreme in every sense, and hauntingly, impossibly beautiful. From the thin air of the Himalayas, we head to a place where the ground itself is boiling. Hverir Geothermal Area, Iceland. If a movie director needed to film a scene set in hell, they would not need special effects. They would just fly to northern Iceland and point a camera at Hverir. Boiling mud pits, hissing steam vents, ground that's yellow, orange, and red from sulfur deposits, an eye-watering smell of rotten eggs that hits you from a kilometer away. And yet, tourists flock here. Hundreds of thousands every year. Because apparently, smells like rotten eggs is not the deal-breaker you'd think it is. What makes Hverir extraordinary isn't just the visuals, it's what's underneath. Iceland sits on the mid-Atlantic ridge, where two tectonic plates meet. The entire island is essentially a giant geological pressure valve. NASA scientists actually train here for Mars missions, because Hverir's landscape, the colors, the chemistry, the alien terrain, is closer to the Martian surface than anywhere else on Earth. You're not just visiting a weird, smelly field. You're visiting a Mars simulator. And Iceland has turned this geological chaos into a superpower. 25% of the country's electricity comes from geothermal energy. What looks like hell is actually powering the whole country. We stay in Iceland, but we go underground into a world of impossible blue light. Vatnajökull, ice caves, Iceland. Picture standing inside a cathedral carved entirely from ice. The walls pulse with a deep electric blue. Not painted, not lit artificially. That's just what ancient compressed glacial ice looks like when light passes through it. Vatnajökull is Europe's largest glacier, covering 8% of Iceland. And hidden beneath it are these ice caves, natural tunnels carved by meltwater streams, accessible only between November and March. After that, too unstable. Ceilings collapse. Flash floods surge through. So yes, it's a breathtakingly beautiful place that also actively tries to kill you if you show up at the wrong time. Iceland really commits to the drama. The blue color happens because glacial ice is so compressed over thousands of years that all air bubbles are squeezed out. What remains is crystal clear ice that absorbs red light and transmits blue. You're literally seeing 1,000-year-old light. And underneath these caves, active volcanoes. The 2010 Vatnajökull eruption, the one that shut down European air travel, came from this very region. Vatnajökull sits directly above multiple volcanic systems, ice caves, above volcanoes, in a glacier that's shrinking every year due to climate change. Scientists say these caves could be gone within 200 years. From Iceland's glacial beauty, we travel to Russia, where cold isn't a season, it's a way of life. Oymyakon, Russia, minus 67.7 degrees Celsius. Let that number breathe for a second. At that temperature, your breath freezes before it leaves your mouth. Exposed skin gets frostbite in minutes. Glasses freeze to your face. Pens stop writing. Phones stop working. Diesel freezes. And yet, around 500 people call Oymyakon, in Russia's Yakutia region, home. Permanently. by choice. Schools only close when temperatures drop below -52. Let me say that again. -52 is considered an acceptable school day. My school once canceled because of light rain. Daily life here is something else entirely. Cars are kept running 24/7, because if you turn the engine off, it won't start again. Groceries are basically only meat, raw frozen fish, reindeer, horse. Vegetables don't grow here. The ground is permafrost year-round. Digging graves requires lighting fires on the frozen ground first, sometimes for days, before a shovel can break through. But here's what gets me. When journalists ask locals why they stay, they don't give complicated answers. They say, "This is home." 3 words. No elaboration needed. Human stubbornness is genuinely one of the most underrated forces on this planet. From the coldest village on Earth, we cross into China, where someone decided a cliff face was an ideal building site. Hedaishan, China. In 491 AD, a Buddhist monk named Liao Ran looked at a vertical cliff face and thought, "Yeah, that's where I'll build my temple." And he did. The Xuankongsi, the Hanging Temple, clings to the rock face of Hengshan Mountain, 75 meters above the ground. It has 78 rooms, multiple halls, interconnected corridors, and has been standing for over 1,500 years. The wooden pillars underneath? Mostly decorative. The real support comes from horizontal beams hammered directly into the mountain rock. So it's basically nailed to the cliff, which is both reassuring and somehow more alarming. What makes the Hanging Temple unique, beyond its engineering, is its ideology. It houses Buddhism, Taoism, and Confucianism side by side. 3 competing philosophies, sharing one impossible building on one impossible cliff. Today, you can walk through it. Stand on corridors where monks meditated 1,500 years ago. Look down at the valley floor far below through ancient wooden floorboards. 1,500 years of history, held up by beams in a rock face, still standing. China showed us a temple clinging to a cliff. Hussaini Hanging Bridge, Pakistan. There are scary bridges in the world. And then there is the Hussaini Hanging Bridge in Gilgit-Baltistan, Pakistan, which exists in its own special category of terrifying. 300 meters long, wide enough for one person, made of ropes and wooden planks. Except many planks are missing, leaving gaps you have to step over with a drop of hundreds of feet to the Hunza River below. An Australian travel writer described crossing it as the most scared I have ever been, and I once reported from an active war zone. High praise, or low, depending on your perspective. The bridge exists because without it, villages on either side of the valley are completely cut off from each other. It's not a tourist attraction, it's infrastructure, a lifeline. Local women cross it carrying supplies. Children cross it to get to school. Every flood season, ropes snap and planks wash away. And every time, the community comes back and rebuilds it. By hand, with rope, with wood, with the same stubborn determination we saw in Oymyakon. Meanwhile, tourists, including experienced mountaineers, have been known to get halfway across, freeze completely, and have to be talked back to safety by amused locals. The bridge doesn't move, it's the knees that go. From a bridge that tests your nerve, we travel to a church that tests everything. Abuna Yemata Guh, Ethiopia. What would you do for faith? In the Tigray region of Ethiopia, carved into a sandstone pinnacle 2,580 meters above sea level, sits Abuna Yemata Guh, considered one of the most inaccessible churches on Earth. To reach it, you free climb a sheer vertical rock face. No ropes, no harness, bare hands, bare feet, bare faith. Then you cross a narrow ledge, barely the width of a shoe, with nothing on either side but air and a very long fall. Professional climbers have visited and described it as genuinely dangerous. Local priests do it regularly, in sandals, while probably mentally reviewing sermon notes. The church itself was carved in the 5th century by a priest named Abuna Yemata. His logic: only those who truly wanted to come would make the climb. No tourists, no curiosity seekers, pure devotion. Inside, 1,500-year-old frescoes in perfect condition. Paintings of the 12 apostles, biblical scenes preserved by the dry mountain air and the sheer inaccessibility that has kept vandals away for centuries. One journalist who made the climb wrote, "The moment I stepped inside and saw those paintings, every ounce of fear disappeared. I understood completely why people have been making this climb for 1,500 years. Faith literally moves people to places physics says they shouldn't go." Hawaii volcanoes, USA. Here's something wild to think about. The ground beneath your feet right now is millions of years old. But on Hawaii's Big Island, some of the ground is days old. The Hawaii Volcanoes National Park is home to Kilauea, one of the most active volcanoes on Earth, and Mauna Loa, the most massive volcano on the planet. Measured from its base on the ocean floor, Mauna Loa is taller than Mount Everest. Hawaii is simultaneously America's most beautiful state, and the state most actively trying to reconfigure its own geography. Respect the hustle. Between 1983 and 2018, Kilauea erupted continuously for 35 years straight. In 2018 alone, lava swallowed over 700 homes. Not destroyed, swallowed, buried under meters of molten rock. And yet, people live here, right next to the lava fields. Because Hawaii is also extraordinarily fertile, volcanic soil grows some of the richest agriculture on Earth. The same force that destroys also creates. Watching lava flow is a surreal experience. It moves slowly, slowly enough that you can walk alongside it. But it never stops, never hesitates, never goes around. It just goes through. In 2022, Mauna Loa erupted for the first time in 38 years. The sky turned red over the Big Island. Residents stepped outside and watched their mountain wake up. The Earth isn't finished yet. Hawaii is the proof. 10 places, 10 communities, 10 completely different answers to the same question. How far will humans go to make somewhere home? From the mud towers of Yemen to the lava fields of Hawaii, from the frozen silence of Siberia to the blazing sky of Ethiopia. Every single one of these places pushed back against human settlement, flooded it, froze it, burned it, buried it. And every single time, humans pushed back harder. That's not stubbornness. That's the most human thing there is. If this video changed the way you see our planet even slightly, hit that like button. Subscribe for more documentary deep dives every week. And drop a comment below. Which of these 10 places would you actually visit? And which one would you absolutely never ever go near? I'll see you in the next one.